Hello and welcome to this video number 2 on DP700 exam preparation. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how we can implement practical role level security in Fabric Synapse warehouse workload. And this is part of the securing and managing analytics solution skill measured in the Microsoft Certified Fabric Data Engineer examination. So let's understand what is role level security, or known as the RLS. It is basically a security mechanism that restricts data access at the role level based on the user roles or the attributes, ensuring users can only see data they are authorized to see. In this demonstration, we will implement row-level security solution on Fabric Warehouse such that we're going to have three users. We're going to have sales director, which will be able to see all the transactions across all the regions. We're going to have another user called regional manager 1 and regional manager 2. Now, each of these regional manager will be able to see the data in their respective regions. Before we get started, kindly click on the subscribe button if you are yet to do so, and like this video, share with your friends, and comment in the section below. So let's get started. For this demonstration, I've logged onto the app.powerbi.com in this Edge browser, and I'm going to use this intro ID that is unique to this Fabric trial account as the admin or the sales director view. And I'm going to come to the Chrome browser. In the Chrome, I've got another intro ID, Enoch at Cornerstone Analytics 1 on Microsoft.com, and this is going to be used for the regional manager 1. And I'm going to come to the Firefox, and this is going to be another intro ID, and I'm going to use this for the regional manager number 2. So I'm going to come to the admin or the sales director view, and I'm going to provision a warehouse in the DP700 Prep workspace. So I'm going to click on this new item, and then I'm going to set for warehouse, and then click on that. I'm going to call this one DP700 underscore warehouse, and once I'm done, I'm going to click on create. Okay, so the DP700 warehouse is now provisioned. Now I'm going to click on this new SQL query to create a table and insert some record into the table. So I'm going to use this already prepared code to create the table. So basically, I'm going to call the table sales, and I'm going to have the sales ID, the order date, region, product quantity, and sales amount columns with the appropriate data types. And I'm going to insert all of this record into each of the columns in the sales table. So I'm going to select this first, and I can click on the run, and the table will be created in a matter of seconds. And I can select all the insert statements, and then I'm going to hit the run command, and we should have all the data inserted. So as soon as that is done, I'm going to just perform a simple select star to query the table. So I'm going to write select star from sales, and then I can put in a semicolon, I can select the code, and I can hit the run command, and let's see, okay, select star from sales, and this is now ready. Click on the run, and there we go. We have all our data back. Okay, so we have the sales ID, the order date, region, product quantity, and the sales amount. The next thing we want to do is to create user security table and insert record into the table. So for that, I'm going to just move this down a little bit, and I'm going to use this code. So we're going to have, let me just move this down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to have a new table called user region access. Now this basically allows us to specify the user email address of our regional managers. So we're going to have two columns, the username, and this is going to be varchar of 255 length, and I'm going to have another column called region with a varchar of 50 length. Now we want to make sure that the user Enoch controls the north and the east region. So that's going to be the sales manager for the north and the east region, and Zoe will be the manager for the south and the west region. Now this simply means upon creation, when we implement the role level security, Enoch will only be able to see the data for the north and the east region without being able to see the data for the south and the west region. And conversely, the Zoe would not be able to see the data for the north and the east regions. So I'm going to go ahead and create this table, run that command, and that succeeded, and I can go on and run this insert into the newly created user region access table, and then we have the names of the columns, and then we are inserting values, and we have all the values. So I can click on this to run the command. So this executed in 1 second to 91 milliseconds, and I can click on this to expand the schemas, and I can expand the DBO, I can expand the tables, and you can see we have the sales and the user region access tables. To implement the row level security, we're going to create security predicate function and apply the row level security policy on the security predicate function. So for that, I'm going to come in and then paste this code. So let me just walk you through the code. Now it's simple. So we're going to create a function, and this is basically a user defined function, and the function is named fn underscore security predicate, and that function is attached to the default database owner. And then we have this region. Now this basically accepts a region as an input parameter of a type of varchar 50 length, and then we have this return table. This is basically a table value function, meaning it returns a result set. And then we've got what's called the schema binding. Now this schema binding ensures that the function cannot be altered if the reference table structure, that is the user region access, changes later on. And then for this part of the code, we have this select one as access granted. Now this basically authorizes the access to the given region, that is one, returning access granted. And then we have this from dbo.userRegion access. This basically read from the user region access table, which maps user to the respective allowed regions. And then we've got this where clause. So we have this email address, user email equals to username, and we have this open and close brackets, and then we have this and then we're also passing this region, focusing on this parameterized region. And then we want to make sure that the sales director or the admin is able to see the data. Now that's going to be myself, Abiola, at Cornerstone Analytics1.onmicrosoft.com, and I'm going to go on and select all of this code and click on run. So there we go, SQL Server execution time. So this succeeded in 680 milliseconds. And then we can go on and apply the row level security policy. So basically we're going to create security policy named sales security policy. You can give whatever name you like. And then we have this add, and then we have this filter predicate. So we are filtering this dbo.function security predicate we created at the top. And then we are focusing on the region, and then we have this on keyword dbo.sales, and then we have this wait state equals to on. So I'm going to go on and execute this apply row level security policy. So all of these are now done. Now I'm going to come in and perform again, select star from the sales. So as an admin or the sales director, I should be able to see all the data. So I'm going to say select star from sales. So sales, and I'm going to put in a semicolon, and then I can go ahead and run this code. So there we go. So I can see I'm able to see the entire 40 records, so which is absolutely cool. Now you want to make sure that you pay attention to this. If you're taking the DP700, this is a function, okay? Never mix that. And then we have this returns table, and we have this wait schema binding. So please pay attention to everything you're seeing on this board. It's really important. So I'm able to see all the data. So we're going to go ahead and share this warehouse with Enoch and Zoe, the two regional managers, and we're going to see whether this is working or not. So I'm going to come back to the workspace, and then I can see the warehouse. I'm going to click this ellipses, and then we can go to manage permissions, and then we can click on this add user. So I'm going to click on that, and then I want to set for Enoch entry ID and Zoe entry ID. So we can also grant them additional permissions like read all data using the SQL, and we can also grant them this read all one link data. Of course, this depends on what you're trying to achieve, but I'm not going to grant this read all one link data. So this is enough, and I can notify them by email, but that's not necessary. I'm going to just click on grant. So we can see we have two people, and then we can see the level of permission they've got, which is cool. Now I'm going to come to the regional manager one, and it's really important we click on this refresh in order for all the changes we apply from the admin interface to apply to the regional manager one. So I just click on refresh, and I can come to the one lake catalog, and then the name of the warehouse is DP700 warehouse. Now you may not see it here. Just come to this filter by keyword and then type in DP, and there we go. We can see the warehouse. I'm going to click on this to open the warehouse, and let's see what happened. So we have the warehouse open, and let's query the data for the regional manager one. Now, before we query, I'm going to come back here and let's go back to the warehouse. Now, based on the insert into user region access, now Enoch should be able to see the data for the north and the east regions only. So I'm going to come back here and click on this new SQL query, and let's write a simple select star from the sales table, put in a semicolon, click on the run command, and let's see, amazing. So Enoch is only able to see 20 records, and when you check all this region, we can see it is either north or the east region. So this simply means our row level security is working absolutely fine. Now I'm going to come to the other browser, the Firefox, and I can click on this refresh again, and then I can go to the One Lake catalog. So click on that, and then I can search for, or I can see that here, click on this to open, and let me just copy the code from here so that, oops, I'm going to copy this, and then I can create a new SQL query. I can click on this or paste and run the code, and there we go. So Zoe is able to see the data for the south and the west regions based on what we define. So our role level security is working absolutely fine. Now, before we finish this video, I'm just going to perform a simple aggregation. So let's see the region, and then we want to see the sum of the sales amount, and then we can call this one as total sales, and then I can move this down a little bit, and then back to the a little bit, and then we can provide the group by. So I'm going to group by the region column, and then we can copy this code and run the code. So we can see we have this total sales for the west and the south region. Now I'm going to quickly come here, and I can just use the same code and I can run it, and there we go. So we have the total sales for the north and the east region. That is cool. Now I'm going to quickly add more data from the admin view, and let's see what happens when we come back and run this code again. So I'm going to come to the Edge browser, and I'm going to click on this new SQL query, and just to create the number 2, I'm going to paste the code in this box, and then we can select all the code, click on the run, and we should have additional 40 records. Now let me quickly get rid of this and perform a simple select star from the cells, or let's just count. Previously we had 40. Now when I use the count aggregate function around this, we should have a total of 80 records. There we go. That's cool. Now I'm going to come back to the regional manager one. Now before I click on this run, pay attention. We have 27,160 for the total sales for the north and 34,840 for the east. When I click on the run, there we go. It has increased. Absolutely cool. When I come to the regional manager 2, we can see the numbers for now: 13,200 and 7,040 for the west and the south region respectively. When I run this code, there we go. It's increased. So our row level security is working absolutely cool. So I'm going to come back here. Let me come back to this query 1. As I've mentioned, make sure you pay attention to all the stuffs you are seeing on this board. So this is the end of the video number 2 on this DP700 exam preparation. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.